Good morning and welcome to an Eye for AI, where we discuss just all kinds of topics regarding AI. And today's show is going to be a little different because should a company that is well run, that is like a well-oiled machine, does it really need AI? We're going to find out. So today we have none other than Carlos Sanchez from Miami Water Heater. Carlos, how you doing?
Good yourself.
Good. In the interest of clarity, Carlos is my client, and I don't know if you realize this, Carlos, but we've been working together for almost 10 years now. It started in 2017. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, 2017. Amazing company. And I got to tell things like they are when when I walked into Miami Water Heater. When I walked into Miami Water Heater, you guys were watching ESPN during the day. When clients called in, you basically told them to F off if you didn't like the questions they were asking or whatever. And boy, have things turned around. And really, it's because of your efforts really to do things differently. You know, right now you're actually known for excellent customer service. Your business
things changed.
Boy, have some things changed. You know, your sales have boomed. You now, have not only sell at the store, but you sell on Amazon. You do a bang up job on Amazon, on your web store as well. So it's night and day. And I have to say that I have become Carlos's confessor, because when he gets a bad review, he comes and confesses and says, yeah, maybe I did say something I shouldn't have. But those are rare. Those are rare because if you see the overall rating is great and the sentiment of those reviews are great. So a little while ago, as I've had this conversation with all of my clients about AI and how I feel AI can help certain businesses in different ways, because every business I handle is very different. So I have to start this story with an experience we both had with AI. So Carlos calls me and he says, look, this company keeps sending me a bill. I've paid it. And they keep every day, several times a day, they keep sending a bill. I've paid it. I send them an email saying I've paid it. I go, okay, I'll contact them. So I contact them and the customer service answers. It was probably around 6 p.m. or something like that. And I'm talking to the agent, very cordial, gives me the answers I'm looking for. And when I hung up, I think to myself, that conversation was a little bit strange. I think it was AI. I think it was an AI agent. I'm going to call back. So I call back and Carl answers the phone again. And I'm thinking, what are the chances of getting the same customer service agent? So anyway, I start talking to him and I said, during the conversation, I said, Carl, are you an AI agent? Are you a bot? Sir, I assure you, I get that a lot, but I am not an AI agent. So there I just went click. I hung up the phone. I was kind of embarrassed. So then the next day I talked to Carlos and I say, Carlos, you know what? I talked to them. They pointed me in this direction, but you know what? Call this number because I have a feeling it was a bot. So Carlos called about 13, 14, 15 hours later, and he got Carl again.
Yeah.
So what are the chances that Carl works 24/7?
Yeah.
And we came to the conclusion that it was
the voice of a bot.
A little bit, a voice of a bot. And there were what gave it away to me, there were slight delays in his answers. So that's, bots have to process the information. So a while back, I approached Carlos about using AI in his business. And again, I have to give you another backstory. So when I first took over the account back in 2017, I wanted Carlos to do videos because that's just gold for social media, especially if the company owner is doing videos. And Carlos was like, no way. This was a year and a half. And finally, he agreed to do videos and does a great job. Now I can't shut him up. But not only does he do videos, but he will do videos in costume. So he has done videos as Flash and as Aquaman, which makes all the sense in the world. So that's how that transition worked.
Convinced my wife to do it as Wonder Woman.
That's true.
So that's really impressive.
That was even more impressive. You're right. So now, you know, we've got a pair of superheroes that work at Miami Water Heater. A few months ago, I approached Carlos and I said, look, I think AI can help you. And the response was
no.
Okay.
I don't want AI. I like the personal touch. So the answer at that moment, the answer was absolutely not.
Right. What happens is that Miami Water Heater, as I said before, is known for customer service. So customers call in and people have all kinds of, what are some of the questions you get, for example?
Well, I mean, it's not just customers. Plumbers call us because there used to be 3. I think there's only 2 now in the whole United States, companies that only deal with water heaters. I'm one of them. And being that all I do is water heaters, I don't do plumbing, all I do is water heaters, I know I go to classes every couple of years to keep up to date with what's going on with REAM and the new technology. So I know a lot more than anybody else because I stay educated in my field because it's a specialized field.
Is it like going to the same class every day?
I could pretty much teach the class.
Okay, all right.
Which, funny story is, when I first would go to the class, one of the things they said is, one of the guys asked, he goes, hey, you know, how many commercial water heaters? Because back then the most popular thing was commercial. Now it's tankless, but back then it was commercial. And one of the guys says, you know, put up your hands if you sell whatever 3 water heaters a year, 3 commercial water heaters. Put up your hand if you sell 10. And I didn't put up my hand. And one of the guys says, I know you sell water heaters. And I said, 3 a year. I'm having a heart attack if I don't sell 3 a week.
Right.
So that doesn't work. And he actually said, will you teach how you sell so many commercial water heaters? And I said, and of course I asked, is there anybody here from Miami? I don't want to give away my secrets.
Right.
And there wasn't. So I actually taught the class on how to sell commercial water heaters because it's what we do. We specialize in it. And one of the first things I said is, look, if somebody calls and says, give me a price for this, if you just give them a price, you're done. You're out. Right. Because anybody can give a price. But if you correctly size the heater for them, tell them what they need, why they need it, tell them how to do it, how you should be installed. You give them the details, whether you do it or not. And I've always done this, which is one of the big things that the videos have helped, is it says on our videos, whether you're going to buy from us or not, you call us. I will help you. I will guide you. I will give you step-by-step process. I will size it for you. I will do everything for you. And we do that. And our reviews show it that we do that. And that is why I'm against AI, I guess, is because an AI bot can't do that. The personal touch can't come from an AI bot. And for me in particular, you know, I don't want to talk to a bot. I want to talk to a live person because a bot's just going to give me answers that I don't want to hear. Okay. Most of the time. So even when I call, the funny thing is when I call like Comcast or whatever, and I say I need help, and okay, we're going to help you, and I know I'm talking to a bot, and they won't get me to a live person until they find out what it is, my response to them is, till I do it 3 or 4 times, so I say, I'm sorry, we can't understand you. Let us get you a live representative because we don't understand what you're saying.
I love that trick. I'm going to start using it.
And I do it all the time. And the guys in the office laugh. Oh, you're talking to a bot, aren't you? Yes, I am. I don't want to talk to a bot. I want to talk to a live person. And I think in my opinion, in business, everybody's going to bots. All these big companies are going to bots. And that's not where the benefit is. The benefit is when you talk to a live person. I don't want to go out in the street. I don't want to talk to a computer. I want to talk to somebody. You know, the personal touch, the big companies have lost the personal touch. Fortunately, I'm not a big company. We're a small company, even though we do very well. I'm a small company. We didn't give up the personal touch, and I'm never going to give up that personal touch. So long as I am running Miami Water Heater will have the personal touch.
Yeah. So you've gone from FUs to thank yous.
Yes, all the time. And you know, the videos. One of the funny thing, one of the first videos that we did that when you say you couldn't get me to shut up, is because I knew what I was talking about was the sizing video.
Yeah,
that sizing video that we do,
hundreds of thousands of views.
I'm going to say on average, probably 10 to 15 calls a week from that video. And they said, "Will you really help me?" I said, "Yeah." And they tell me I need a gas tankless water heater. Well, I'm not going to ship a gas tankless water heater; it's too expensive for them. But I tell them what they need, how they need it, where to put it, how the installation should be, what's the best option for them, how many do they need if they need more than one, and I give them all that personal information. And I do it up until 10 o'clock at night when I go to bed.
Right.
And people love that. They and it shows in our reviews that they actually say, "This guy talked to me for 20 minutes at 9:30 at night, knowing he wasn't going to make a sale, and he still talked to me. He didn't rush me. He just sat there and talked to me." That's the personal touch, which a bot can't do. Do I think bots have their usage? Yeah, of course. There is something that the bot can always do, but the personal touch, the bot can't do.
Okay, so you said a lot there, and I'm gonna unpack some of this. And really, there's an overarching theme here that, and it happens across the board with all humans, I would think. Humans, I think, don't know how much knowledge they have inside of them, right? Yeah. So it's very. I mean, we went through this exercise the other day when we got together with all the guys. I said, "All right," and I recorded it, and I said, "Give me all the questions you get typically and what your answers are." So we did that, and I have a feeling we maybe got 10% of the stuff there, because what you just said was, was something actually that a bot could do in your absence. We'll just say in your absence. So let's say it's 11 o'clock at night. You're sleeping, or you're watching the ESPYs. Did you watch the ESPYs last night?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, anyway, so you're sleeping at midnight, whatever, 1 a.m, and that bot, again, the key is for you to share all your knowledge, right? Which is difficult because you don't know what you have up there. Share your knowledge, and then that knowledge and all the context gets shared with a bot. And so my notion of things for we're talking customer service here. My notion is that if you give it that full knowledge, but at the same time, during the whole process, you're giving them an out. You're giving them the ability to talk to a real person if they want to. To me, that's a home run, because it's not going to only allow you to play more golf, which I know you hate doing, but it's going to make your employees more efficient too. I don't know if that's something that you think is in the realm of possibilities or not.
Yeah, I would say yes, because it's great so long as there's always an out.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, you have customers.
And you don't have to go blah, 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 blah either.
Yeah, exactly. Just press a button and you'll get to one of us. The thing is that customers, sometimes they have questions, or my water heater's not working. Okay, and a bot can't answer questions like, okay, for example, I had a customer that called yesterday. My water heater doesn't work. Okay, fine, let's go over it. When you turn on the power, when you open a hot water faucet, does the display come on? No, it doesn't. Okay, then right there, you have an electrical issue.
I hate to tell you, a bot can do that.
All right. Well,
once you feed it all the information and all the scenario,
how are you going to get all this knowledge in here of 20-some years, or actually that is 77 years of the company being around, and all the knowledge of the summers I've worked and the 20+ years that I've been running the company? How do you get that knowledge out of here into a bot?
That's my challenge.
Yeah, because that's not easy.
That's not easy, but it's something that in the future is going to help. But anyway, keep going about. So
the customer was angry because he bought the heater 6 months ago and now it's not working. And
so it was working fine.
It was working fine up until yesterday. When I called him, I said, "Okay, first things first. Let's go with one of the only things I ever learned or retained from college was KISS. Keep it simple, stupid."
Right.
And it was very simple. Hey, go check the breaker. Turn the breaker off. Give it a minute and turn it back on. Okay, go check your water heater. Oh, it's working. Okay, the breaker is just a spring. And just like when I mean, back when I was a kid, and I'm sure you were a kid,
Fuses?
you know, you had the Slinky that you played with. Okay? The more you played with it, the more the Slinky grew, and the Slinky wasn't as good as it was before. Well, a 60 amp breaker, for example, if we're using on a 13, if you're playing with a Slinky, that breaker, that's just a spring.
Explain what a 13 is, because I know what it is, but...
All right. A 13 is a 13 kilowatt tankless water heater, which uses a 60 amp breaker. Okay, you put a 60 amp breaker on that, and the breaker is just a spring, a little piece of spring that's behind the breaker. That's all it is. That's why you hear click when you open it, turn it on and off. Well, that spring, if it's not perfectly new, and sometimes these breakers, you know, you've had the breakers in your house. I know I've had mine for 10, 12, 15 years. Well, that breaker isn't holding 60 amps anymore.
So just so you know, a bot could tell somebody that. If you give it the full breadth of knowledge, and then, you know, and that will happen over time, is as more situations come up, the bot will continue to learn it, and you continue to teach it. But anyway, go on.
But are you going to, all right, well, no, that's fine. And to end that part of the story, the spring was bad. Once they flipped the breaker, it was fine. I told the customer to go and have an electrician just replace the breaker. The wires are fine. I don't know whether he's done or not, because that was yesterday. If he did, chances are he's back to working and no problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
But so my question to you is, on AI, how do you get a bot to get all this information out of here? Other than the only way I could see you could do that is you'd have to be recording me 24 hours a day, or every time I'm on the phone.
That's something we could do. That's something that we could actually do, because, like I said, when we did it the other day, I felt it was just the tip of the iceberg. You know, not the full breadth of knowledge or questions that you get, and that's the point of a bot. So if there are customer service wise, if you get the same questions over and over and over again, then that's something a bot can address, so your people don't have to be on the phone and they're doing something more productive, like selling.
Well, that would be great.
so you know, things like that. So that's just customer service, and I get it that, you know, that personal touch is something that differentiates you. And you told me something else before when we first started talking about bots, and your words were like this: because I know that if I handle a phone call, I'm going to sell that person.
Yes.
And a bot will not necessarily sell that person. I get that. Trust me, I get that 100%. But let's talk about other areas where an AI bot or an AI agent can help. Let's talk about service calls, for example. You know, right now, the way a service call is handled, again, it's all manual. Order comes in, or, you know, a need for service comes in, you schedule it. Before the tech goes out, you call the person and tell them they're coming and stuff like that. So a while back, you approached me and said that somebody serviced something at your home.
Yes.
And that, you know, you got notifications and you got a request for review after, and those kinds of things. That's something that's not really true AI, that's automation, but that's something that can be done easily, where, for example, you can go further and send from the client a text, for example, with your text picture on it, and say, this person is going to be there, and, you know, we'll arrive at a certain time, and then after the service call, have automation request that review, give updates if the tech's going to be late. All that can be done without you touching anything. Now, it may require your tech to carry something like an iPad, and I don't know if you trust your tech with an iPad instead of a paper pad.
They probably drop it.
Right? That's what insurance is for. But, you know, because right now you're filling out those work orders, which I print for you every now and then. And, you know, you can eliminate that paper. So that's just one application in the service calls.
Well, how about this? Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, my tech is he is computer savvy. I'm not going to say he's not computer illiterate, but even me, let's say I went to do a service call.
Okay.
And I had to go in and to an iPad, and I had to start typing everything in. Well, that typing of everything in, for me, as opposed to writing it, went from being a 30-second or 1 minute handwriting information to give to the customer, is now going to be a 10-minute me typing everything out for the customer to have all the
Thank goodness
information.
you're not the service tech.
Okay,
So
but the service tech is going to be the same. So then we'd have to.
we don't know that. We don't know that
Oh
because
no, I can tell you a line is going to be the same.
Okay, okay.
Or wholesale for that matter.
okay.
Okay, so then we would
that's
have
a
to
fair
do
argument.
something.
That's a fair argument.
Okay, but with that said, nowadays with the phones, there's a microphone, so they could say everything in there.
There you go. You're ahead of the game right there.
So yes, if we could do something like that, maybe I would be more, or not more, less reluctant
Right.
to go to AI.
Okay.
But you know, it's funny you say it. I'm going to give you a story. My daughter is doing an internship, and she's doing a presentation actually today. And one of the things she had told me once was, I never want to do what you do. I don't want to talk to somebody all the time.
That seems like it's across the board for the youth these days. They text, they don't talk to anybody.
No. You know, nowadays they break up over a text.
She had to do a live presentation in front of people.
She's doing it at 2:30.
Was she sweating it?
Oh, she's dying. And my son-in-law is going to be part of the presentation, part of the group she's presenting to. So that's going to kill her. That's going to make her even different. But she was doing the presentation. She was doing it very well. And one of the things she says is, look, AI, because they have a funnel system where they get their leads,
right.
and AI was funneling out a lead automatically because, for example, the customer.
Yes, the bot was qualifying the leads.
Yeah, and it disqualified leads.
Right.
And her thing was, one of the things she said, which I thought was great, was, this lead is disqualified because they do financing, line of credits and stuff for businesses. Because the company has only been in business for 1 year, you're disqualified and your application is out. No question. And she said, well, why are we doing that? Put them in a group where next year, that 2 years being around, they qualify for the service.
And they're automatically contacted.
Let's follow up with that.
Yeah.
Whether it's personal or bot, somebody's got to follow up in the second year saying, hey, happy anniversary for your second year. Just so you know, you qualify for our financial line of credit now. So if you need us for anything, just reach out. And that's great. And her thing was, let's give that a personal touch. Don't just drop them and say, forget it, you're out. Have a sales rep call them and say, listen, you don't meet our criteria right now, but next year you will.
Right.
So we're going to put you in our system so that next year we reach out to you and let you know that we care. Now, that's great, except for one. Here's the thing. Here's the downside I see of a bot for that. The bot reaches out to you after a year you've been in business. And if it were me, and you know that I'm a little more difficult than most people.
Nah.
If you didn't care for me when it was a year in, you can go F yourself after 2 years, especially if I'm talking to a bot.
Right.
But if a live person calls me and says, hey, listen, I know we weren't able to help you back then because you weren't around long enough, but we are able to help you now. Now, not that you need the help. I'm sure your business is doing great. But if you need anything from us, hey, my name is this. Here's my line. Call me if you need me. I'll be happy to help you and answer any questions, whether you're going to use me or not.
So here's what a bot could do.
Right.
A bot could, I understand, and I'm with you on, having a bot call them after a year. No. But what the bot can do is you set up, who's the salesperson in charge or a pool of people, send them a text, the anniversary date, and say, these people need to be contacted. So
yes,
there the bot is out and you're in. And that first conversation, the rejection, we'll say, the rejection can be, what's that old line? It's not you, it's me kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you can say, look, this what we charge for whatever our services, however you want to word it. Over time we've realized that doesn't make sense for a business that's so young. But we will touch base with you in the future to see if we can help you. Something like that.
That would be good. And I would say more than that. With AI, and I'm sure you can do this with AI, is instead of a bot, so it's a bot calling you, you receive a text or an email.
Correct.
Because then you don't know if it's a person writing you the email or a bot writing you the email.
Right.
So that it's a way to keep the personal touch without using the personal touch.
Right.
without taking somebody's time to do that for somebody else. You can have a computer do that. So yes, in that aspect, I think that would be a great idea. But
so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
all right.
What happens when you quote a job, right? You quote commercial is probably more important than residential. So you quote a commercial water heater, you quote installation as well, and let's say it could be you, it could be one of your guys. What happens after? Do you know that is there scheduled follow-up?
Yes.
Do they follow up? Okay.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
without a doubt.
Okay. So what happens? Tell me what happens.
Okay, so whether it's a commercial, whether it's a residential, whether it's an installation or just the cost of the heater, we give you the quote, we give you the estimate, and then we let it go. Hey, and on with the estimate, it says, hey, if you have any questions, give us a call. 2 days later, we'll reach out. Hey, did you get our estimate? Or the next day, within 1 or 2 days, we will reach out and say, just want to make sure you got the estimates. Do you have any questions on the estimate?
This is an email?
This is, well, usually it's text or we will make a phone call.
Okay, phone call.
One of the two. Most of the time, customers, when they send us pictures and stuff, it's through text, not through email. Most customers prefer text because they can take the picture on their phone and then just send us a text straight from their phone.
Got it.
Which is fine. And we reply to that text, which goes to their phone, and most everybody has their phone.
So imagine if a bot said, so here's another thing. I know you go through that all the time. Send me the picture because that's critical to quote, right? So what if a bot just told them, send the picture to this phone number from your phone? I mean, that saves you a little time, right?
It would.
Yeah.
It would. Then, okay, so the next step is within 1 or 2 days, we call and say, did you get the estimate? Do you have any questions? Then we let it go. Then within 5 to 7 days after,
if we haven't heard anything, and thank God we have been blessed that we are pretty good at closing our deals because of in my opinion, because of the personal touch. So we will reach out to them. Hey, did you solve your problem? If you haven't, do you have any other questions that I can answer for you? Even if you're not buying from me, just do you have any questions that I can answer for you? Okay. A bot can't answer those questions because they might come up with questions that we don't even know are coming. Right.
So that part.
But you've probably heard it before.
Yeah. But now that bot could. Yes, I probably have, but getting it out of here and into a bot, that's the hard
I've got
part.
a challenge on my hands.
Yes, you do. But the bot could say, hey, send out a text to whoever handled the call, George, Danny, whoever handled the call. Hey, listen, it's time to reach out to this customer. You haven't heard back from them.
Right.
What's going on? Or, hey, did you reach out to this customer? Did we already get this? And then we can close it out and the bot can say, okay, this is closed. We don't need to talk about it anymore. But yes, in that aspect, the bot would be very helpful to bring it to our attention so it doesn't, so nothing
falls through the cracks.
No lead falls through the cracks.
Right. So and that's a big part of what I do. And talking about qualifying leads, how many phone calls do you get? I bought a heater at Home Depot. Can you install it?
A lot.
So right there, disqualified.
Here's the thing. Because of a bot, when you buy a heater at Home Depot, it's a Rheem water heater.
Right. Same brand you sell.
So you go to the Rheem website and you ask, hey, who handles Rheem in my area? And in Miami, because, not to brag, but because we are so good at what we do and handling our customer service and making sure our customers are taken care of, we are the only ones that Rheem uses in Miami. We are Rheem's only warranty shop in Miami. All the warranty in Miami.
Doesn't matter where they buy the heater.
Doesn't matter. If it's a Rheem water heater and it's a warranty, it's coming through Miami Water Heater. Okay. Miami Water Heater is going to handle your warranty because we follow the guidelines. When we get the call, within 24 hours, we will reach out to you and make sure, hey, we've got your call. We are getting you on the schedule. I would say 90% of the time.
A bot could do that.
But a bot won't say within 90% of the time, a bot could say within 90% of the time, we will be out there within the 24 hours to service you.
Okay.
But a bot, here's my big dilemma with bots.
Go
all right,
for it.
Here you go. When I get a call, and this is why when I'm not in town and George handles the service calls, he lets the calls go to voicemail. and people sometimes don't leave a voicemail.
Right.
Okay. Well, when I take the calls, whether you leave a voicemail or not, I will call you back as soon as I finish whatever I'm doing. If I'm on the golf course, as soon as I finish the golf round, I will return. I've gone on the golf course and I've had 13 calls to return, and I will return every single one of those 13 calls. Every single one. Hey, did you solve your problem? Do you need my services? I saw you called. I know you leave a message, but I'm here to help. Can I help you with anything? And I will give you, and I have found that if the customer can talk to me or to a live person, even if I tell them, hey, listen, I can't take care of you right now, it's 6 o'clock at night, I will get to you, I will be there tomorrow.
Right.
Once a customer hears me, or in my opinion, a live person, I don't know whether a bot can give that reassurance, saying, hey, we will get to you tomorrow. Give me a chance. Let me get to the office in the morning. I'll call you at 7 and let you know what my schedule is so I can figure out how I'm going to squeeze you in. Customer isn't calling anybody else.
Okay.
I locked, that lead is mine. Nobody else is getting it. There are very few times where the customer says, no, look, it might be a building. I need hot water right now.
Right.
Well, okay. Now we have emergency service also. We can give you service if you want to pay additional fees, time and a half, which most people say, no, I'll wait till tomorrow.
Right.
But now that you've heard from the person in the office, a live person in the office saying, we're going to get to you tomorrow, just give me a chance till 7 in the morning, they're not calling anybody else. I don't know that a bot can give you that kind of reassurance.
Probably could, to a certain extent, but I understand where you're coming from. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to come back on the show in the near future. We're going to implement something, at very least a web bot, because a website bot, a chat bot, because this could address the people like your daughter who don't want to talk to anybody, and they're more comfortable chatting on with a bot. So we're going to do that. We're going to come back and see how things have gone.
Okay.
All right. So if they want to get in touch with Miami Water Heater, if they're tired of taking cold showers, don't have the right water heater, how can they get in touch with you?
Very simple. You just call 305-633-2656. You can email us at sales@miamiwaterheater.com. That landline number also receives text. So if you want to send us pictures, we can go over anything with you. But if you call us, whether we are open from 6:30 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, the office is open from 6:30 to 3. But after that, if you call, I will be 95% of the time, unless I'm on vacation, I will be the one returning your call from 3 o'clock till 10 o'clock at night. I will return all the calls.
So just think, when you're on vacation, Carlos the bot could answer.
That would be impressive if he could do what I do.
All right. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you always to Miami's Community News, and we'll be back soon.